Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I give my weekly wrap-up for the week from 6/21/2026 through 6/27/2026. I completed one book this week, so I'll talk briefly about that book. I read parts of two other books, so I'll talk briefly about those two books. I'll talk about my reading plans for the near future. I'll talk about the videos I released. I'll talk about the crochet project I'm working on. I'll talk about the video games I played. I'll talk about the music I listened to. And I'll talk about some other things going on in my life too. The book I completed was Julie Chang is Dead by Liann Zhang. This was the June read for the Weird Girls, Weirder Books Fable Book Club, moderated by Laurie. Julie Chang is 24 when the book starts. She's working at a grocery store, a job she doesn't really enjoy, struggles with it. We learn that she and her twin sister, Chloe, were orphaned at a young age, and Chloe was adopted by a wealthy white family, and Julie was adopted by her aunt. Chloe went on to become a very popular influencer. Julie's aunt treats her cruelly and tries to take advantage of her and financially when she can. Julie hasn't had a lot of contact with Chloe, but the most notable contact was a few years before the book started. Chloe bought Julie a house, which sounds good on paper, but it turns out it was just part of a plan to get a lot of views to her channel, or get a lot of views on her channels, and get a lot of support from her followers, and it did accomplish that. After that, the contact with Julie was somewhat sporadic. But Julie receives a garbled phone call from Chloe, which gets her concerned, so she goes to Chloe's apartment in New York City, gets to the front door, realizes she has no key or way to get in, but the doorman confuses her with Chloe, so she was able to get in the apartment, and she discovers that Chloe has passed away. She partly just for some interactions, but she decides kind of on the spot to assume Chloe's identity. So she goes into the world of influencers. Won't really say anything more. Julie is a great rationalizer, but I did mostly like her. I will review this book in the not too distant future because I need to post a review on the Fable Fan Club site by June 30th, because on July 1 the book club's choice is going to switch over. A book I read part of was The Other Ancient Civilisations, Decoding Archaeology's Less Celebrated Cultures by Todd DaSilva. This is a set of chapters, each of which features a civilization that is, as the title would suggest, lesser known. In some cases, they were actually unknown for centuries before they were rediscovered. Each chapter starts with a short story, talks about a typical short period in a person's life, what it would have been like in that civilization. The book does a great job not only talking about the rulers, the elite members of society, but it also talks about the common lives, what lives people may have lived. In a lot of cases, the evidence is scant, so they can't go into too much depth, but does a great job with that. I'm most of the way through the book now. This is a book, it's like say a collection of short stories. You can read it a chapter at a time and put it aside. Very interesting book to just get some knowledge about the lesser known ancient civilizations, some of which, and these civilizations had their period where they were quite successful and powerful. So quite an interesting book. A book I read some of is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. The two main characters of this book are George and Lenny. George kind of somewhat grudgingly takes care of and looks out for Lenny. Lenny is not the most bright person. The book doesn't actually say why, but he is not that intelligent and his memory can be sketchy. It comes and goes. He is a big, strong guy. At the beginning of the book, they are traveling to a ranch where they have some seasonal work. And when they get to the ranch, they do encounter at least one rather difficult character. The book is a novella, really short, a little over 100 pages. So there's not much I'm going to be able to say about this book because most everything would be a spoiler when I get done with it. But as with The Grapes of Wrath, I really do love Steinbeck's language. He uses beautiful language. He really describes the scenes well, so you can really picture it. Of course, with any book you can picture things, but there's a depth to Steinbeck's language that I can picture them more deeply than is typical in a book. The Grapes of Wrath is the June read for On With the Band, a Fable book club monitored by MJ. Reading This Life at M-J on YouTube. As I've said in a few videos, I am trying to get back to reading books from some of the Fable book clubs I belong to. Well, actually at this time I only belong to 3 active ones, but the third has, I think, over 2,000 followers. So I'm trying to concentrate on these two which don't have that amount of followers. As far as my reading plans for the near future, I want to complete Of Mice and Men by the 30th because the On With the Band book club will be changing over, I'm sure, on July 1st. So I need to complete it and review it. As I said when I talked about it, the review probably won't be all that long because it's a novella. You can't say too much about a novella. Just give a little setup and maybe general impressions, but I do want to review it and put a review on the book club site. As far as my other plans, I want to complete Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko fairly soon. I said in my last video I wanted to complete this because there is a movie version of this that was recently released, but it's not in super wide release, so it isn't a theater close to me, but it's not a super wide release, so chances are I won't get to it in time. Chances are I won't be able to complete this book in time to be able to see the movie in the theaters. But I do want to get back to it. I started 2 years ago and put it aside, so I do want to get back to it. Maybe watch the movie when it comes out on a streaming service. As far as the videos I released 3. I released Library and Barnes & Noble book hauls, reading update for the week ending 6/20/2026, and the mid-year freakout tag. I have come to the realization that my goal to release a review video for all the books I read was perhaps too ambitious, so I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do, but I might just do what's actually in fact happening, and that is I release the videos that I do, and if too much time passes without releasing a review video for a book, just won't do it because I just won't have the memories of it adequate to release the video. So that might be my approach. Or I might decide like some books, there's just not enough to say to release a video. I'm not sure, but it's just become apparent that I can't release a review video for all the books I read, and I feel pressured to do so, and I don't like to feel pressured because this is a hobby for me. So I think what I'm going to do is just do the best I can, and what is. As I say, if too much time passes and I don't release a review video, that'll be the way it is. That just is what happens. And this is the same too with my reviews on Storygraph and Fable, because the video reviews are based on those mostly. I'm behind on them too, and sometimes I just go back and I put a star rating in there just because I want that for a year till I have all my books to have star ratings, even though I don't really think they tell you too much. I like to have all my books at least have a star rating. So, but it was just I was just feeling too pressured to release a review video for every book, and it just wasn't happening. For some reason, reviews, I feel the most pressure to get them right of any of the videos that I do. Next, I want to talk about the crochet projects I worked on. The first is a solid square. It is the latest pattern from Everyday Crochet, The Complete Beginner's Guide by June Gilbank. It's coming out pretty well, I think. I forgot to mention too, there is another book that I'm going to start very soon. That's a reread of The Stand by Stephen King. This is part of a group read on which we're Discord, the Discord of Steph from the Steph. So that's a book I'm going to start very soon too. As far as the video games I'm playing, I actually played parts of 4 video games. I played Wildflowers. Just doing some more tasks there. Nothing especially notable. I played some of Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream. Recently, 2 of the couples got married, and there's a mini game you have to do to help the couples get married, and up to this point I had always failed it. If you fail like 3 times, they let them get married anyway. But the second couple that got married this time, I actually succeeded in the mini game, so it's the first I actually succeeded in that mini game. And also, one of the couples had their second child. I let the game choose the child. I let the game choose the characteristics of the child, except for the romantic interest. I wanted those as wide-ranging as possible because I don't have that many characters, but I let the game choose otherwise. It was a boy by the name of Zahir. So now I have 16. So now I have 19 me, 16 that I created, and 3 that were born on the island. I also played some of Lodal Knot, doing the same things I've done previously. It's just there's a couple of, you play as a diver and you're cleaning up garbage. You're cleaning up garbage and invasive plants, and also you're cleaning up fish called lodals. Sometimes they get contamination on them. They need to be cleaned. Sometimes they need to be fed. Doing that. And I played some of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. I enjoyed the game to the point I stopped playing. However, there is a section you have to do this jumping, which is rather tricky, and to add to the trickiness of the game, I can't adjust the camera angle, which makes the jumping that much harder. So it is just a demo. So, but I'm probably going to give it a shot again, but I'm not going to, if something frustrates me, I'm not going to keep playing. As far as music I listen to New Order, a band that I've been a fan of for a while. I listen to Tony Carey. Tony Carey has a song called first day of summer, and as the first day of summer was, I think, partway through the 21st, and the first full day was the 22nd, I listened to that song a few times and a few of his other songs. And a local restaurant I go to plays a classic rock station over the speakers. Heard a Bob Seger song, so that got me thinking about Bob Seger, so I played Bob Seger. I played some Bob Seger songs. Bob Seger was a favorite of mine when I was a kid, and the songs do bring back great memories. As far as some other things going on in my life, I went to the mall a couple times and walked. I met with a friend of mine at a local restaurant for lunch. I went out to eat a few other times. It's getting kind of hot here, so walking outside isn't such something I really want to be doing. It wasn't super hot, but it was just too warm for me to walk outside. I would be interested in knowing how your week went, what books you're reading, music you listen to, video games you're playing if you do that. I should mention too, I continue to watch a little bit of the Men's World Cup, so maybe you're watching that too. If you'd like to let me know about what's going on in your life, please add a comment. If you can't think of anything else to comment, please add an emoji. Please add an emoji of your choice. I hope you have a wonderful reading week. I hope you have a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe. Please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.